For the second time in Super Rugby 2016, we're in Singapore at the National Stadium where the Sunwolves are preparing to host the Bulls. They were here 2 weeks ago for an agonizing loss against the Cheetahs from South Africa. And back they are today to take on the Bulls, who come off a 16-all draw against the Sharks a week ago. This time last week, the Sunwolves were at home in Tokyo, going down to the Rebels by 35 points to 9. So the third South African opposition in 4 matches for the Sunwolves from Japan. They lost out to the Lions in Tokyo in week 1, then to the Cheetahs here in Singapore. Now they take on this Bulls team and some significant changes. One of them in the front row, Lizo Oboka, given his first start of the campaign alongside his captain, Adrian Strauss. Jason Jenkins starts in the second row with Grant Hutting out due to injury. The loose forwards remain the same. Roelof Smit in the fetcher role, Janus Kirsten at 7 and Arno Buerta at the back of the scrum. A first start of the season for Tiaan Schoeman at fly half, preferred to Francois Brummer. Burger Oudendal at inside centre. Jesse Creel returns from a concussion to take his position in the outside centre berth. And Jumba Ulengo gets his second start, having made a Super Rugby debut against the Sharks a week ago. A potential debut for South African under-20 international Pierre Schoeman. Trevor Nyakani from the bench this week, as is Bandisa Maku, who is yet to make an appearance in the competition this year. For the Sunwolves, it's been 3 consecutive losses, the closest of those being here in the National Stadium in Singapore against the Cheetahs. Shota Hori, Japanese international, captains the side, and Keita Inagaki also with 10 tests to his name. Hitoshi Ono, 96 test matches for him. Liaki Moli in the second row with Timothy Bond out with a suspension. Argentine international Thomas Leonardi starts in the number 8 jersey. Tusi Pisi is the general, the playmaker, with Kaito Shigeno, his halfback partner. 2 Japanese internationals, Tatakawa and Tamura, in the midfield. And then at the back, a former Cheetahs and Sharks player, Rian Fulyun, a debutant in Tongan, Viliami Lolohea, and Akihito Yamada, 3-try hero against the Cheetahs. Ed Quirk, formerly of the Queensland Reds, on the bench, and 4 Japanese internationals on the bench for the Sunwolves this evening. And as Singapore uses these magnificent facilities to try and grow the game of rugby in the area, this stadium will host the Singapore Sevens on the HSBC Sevens World Series in a couple of weeks' time. And a strong expat rugby supporting community here in Singapore as Adrian Strauss leads the Bulls out for their 4th match of the campaign. A loss, a win and a draw for the Bulls so far, and looking to gain some momentum here in Singapore this evening. Adrian Strauss wins Super Rugby cap number 122, and one of the stars of the campaign so far. Last year's South African under-20 player of the year, Warwick Gallant, outstanding in the fullback position. With me for this afternoon's game, former Springbok captain Bob Skinstad on his first visit to this incredible stadium.
Well, with you and very excited as well. It's a wonderful facility here. We've had a little bit of a tour around it. There's the gym, the warm-up area, everything is top-notch. The players getting to appreciate it. The Sunwolves will play their 2nd game here in Singapore of 3 this season, shared between here and Tokyo. The Bulls are in town, and their supporters have shown it. There's been a lot of interest around the town to see Super Rugby. And Akihito Yamada scored an incredible first half hat-trick 2 weeks ago. But it's the opposite winger who's there talking to Liaki Moli, Viliami Lolohea, who's been given the biggest raps from the coaching staff.
And with us in commentary sideline on a very hot and humid Singapore evening is former Springbok hooker Hanyani Shamangi. Shimi, it may be hot and sticky out there, but a wonderful surface, and the Sunwolves have certainly shown a lot of desire to run the ball. William Houston in charge in his first Super Rugby season. Quick word from Shimmy pitchside.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. You're right, Matt. Pretty humid down here, but I heard half the crowd. There lots of excitement. So a lot of expats, you mentioned it, getting autographs from the Bulls players. A couple of Bok jerseys down here also, so good to see. But definitely a Sunwolves team that's full of running. Mark Hammett spoke about it, using the width of the field and spreading the ball.
Rian Viljoen gets the game underway. Good take early on from Arceus Snyman.
Once halfback. Twice use.
And a quick call of use it to Rudy Page, who positioned himself for the hoist for Bjorn Basson to chase. He is absolutely outstanding under the high ball. It's been a feature of the Bulls' play. There was a fair contest in the air there.
Well, you're right, Matt. He has been outstanding under the high ball. He's got such speed. Basson, he can get to an area where he can compete, and Viljoen went up there. The two of them clashed in the sky.
Okay.
Nothing untoward, but you can see
There's
both
our mark.
them going forward there, and it looked like that knee of Viljoen
Stability.
Bjorn Basson as he hobbles back to his position on the left wing. We spoke about it before the game. We thought we were going to see an aerial ping-pong battle because the conditions are really tough. It's going to be a slippery ball. It's almost got its own humidity inside the stadium. The roof is closed. I can tell you we're sweating in the commentary area, the commentary gantry, and I think the players will be feeling it a lot. When that ball goes up, we're not going to see a lot of clean takes. We're going to see a lot of pressure on them as well.
Shigeno with the feed for the Sunwolves, a slightly retreating scrum, but PC did well. Then the little dab ahead from Viljoen. And an awkward ball for Birger Oudendal. Viljoen with the pickup. And here's the first score of the game for Andrew Durutalu. Stunning start from the Sunwolves in Singapore.
What a fantastic start. That's Durutalo who gets all the kudos because he was the first loose forward there, but well done to Viljoen. And Lolo Hea were chasing up. It's a lovely little kick ahead there from Viljoen. Just getting back onto the ball, and then you can see it flicked out underneath the feet of Jesse Creel, and no one's going to stop Durutalo from that close. Good following up there by wing and fullback, and then Rian Viljoen it is who just flicks that ball onto Andrew Durutalo. He's come from 50 meters away to make it there. Crashes over in the first minute.
Quite a journey Andrew Durutalo has had. Fijian born, played for Japan's under-19 and under-21 sides, and now a 12-test international for the USA. But on the board for his first Super Rugby try.
Yeah, this is great work. I thought the chip from Rian Viljoen was exceptional. You saw Warren Kalant was up, put it over him, and the pressure here, the follow-up from Durutalo, and the Sunwolves opened their account.
Easy conversion for Tusi Pisi, who takes his tally for the season to 30 points. The restart is from Tian Skuman, the first time he touched the ball in the game. That's 7-0 down. Shigeno. Very efficient from the Sunwolves at the restart. The try scorer, Durutalo. Tackle is from Birger Oudendal. No Atsushi Hiwasa, the Japanese international scrum half, so Kaito Shigeno promoted from the bench. Turnover is good now for the Bulls. First carry for Arno Buerta. Wanting to hit straight back. Page skips out Adrian Strauss for Lizo Moboka, making his first start in Super Rugby. Away by Skuman, Gelant. And then it's Roelof Smit to ground. Kirsten, he's been strong with the ball carry this season as well as in his defensive work in his first Super Rugby season. Some slick handling out wide from the Bulls through the hands of Creel for Buerta.
Good contest on the ground there, the counter ruck. Bulls have hung on to it though.
Durutalo did well to try and get in over that ball, but an equally good clean from the Bulls. Here's Page. And still, good clean from Gulboka once more, but it's untidy at the
Advantage,
back. It's
offside.
excellent work from Strauss. A penalty advantage this for the Bulls. Carry from Jenkins, and that's lost forward, but no advantage.
Offside.
William Houston brings them back for the penalty.
Yeah, Houston's called the offside there. I'd be interested in your take, Shimmy. The big forwards, we said that they were going to carry a lot, and the Sunwolves have been particularly good at tackling low, getting the players. I was just listening into Houston there, just offside. I think that ball came squirting out from underneath Adrian Strauss, and the player felt that it was out.
Shot call.
Now, look, I thought it was good play from Strauss, actually, who managed to get that turnover ball. But you're right, the Sunwolves players trying to get those low leg tackles, but the Bulls are actually one or two side steps and they're evading sort of the low tackles. But fantastic play here. As you can see, they're spinning out of it. Jenkins keeps going, but I think offside was called just after this, or just before that.
Yeah, I think affecting the play there, and it was Duratolo, but that wasn't the incident. There was a little bit after. So got away with that.
Tian Skuman now, he's just got one penalty to his name, and a crucial one it was, which tied up the game at 16 points all a week ago against the Sharks at Loftus Versfeld, before the Sharks missed an opportunity with the final kick of the game to win that contest. Skuman to add another 3 points to his tally. Scored over 130 points in last year's Currie Cup. Extremely dependable from the kicking tee, and preferred to Francois Brummer for this game in the starting lineup and getting the Bulls on the board early.
Well, it would have been a shock to the Bulls. They certainly wouldn't have wanted to concede that 7-pointer. They're going to have to make sure that they create some scoring opportunities for themselves.
Very deep restart from Rian Viljoen, collected by Roelof Smit. You may have heard the howling wolf reverberating through the stadium in the background. Rings out whenever points are scored by either team, and pretty apt because it's full moon at the moment.
It's a nice clearance there. Back out to the halfway line, and on the attack he's been very effective, nailing those last-minute penalties, Skuman. So they're not going to want to have a close game here, the Sunwolves, because he's got a monster boot.
Well, there's some tall timber in this Bulls line, and Snyman making it count on a Sunwolves throw. Really strong work from Lizo Gulboka as well. Snyman back on his feet to make the carry after effecting the steal. And the Sunwolves not rolling. Quickly onto the whistle is William Houston. Took charge of the Junior World Cup final, the Australian referee last year.
Anyone in line with there?
Yeah, it was a great steal also from RKS Nema to get that turnover. So the Bulls started to put some early set-piece pressure. I saw the first scrum. The Sunwolves were going, they did a channel one ball, they were going backwards. But this time at line-out time, applying pressure. And it's working well here.
They've got the numbers there at the tackle area, just not releasing the ball on the ground in that tackle. You can see he's lost his footing and unable to get that ball back.
No clear release from Tomas Leonardi, 18 Test match international from Argentina. Also travelled around the rugby world, Edinburgh and Toulouse, so made a couple of appearances at the EP Kings. And Skuman for his second penalty. It's away to the left.
22.
Plenty of distance on it.
Yeah, only just away to the left, and then more than enough distance, so the Sunwolves will know that anywhere in their half he's definitely got the range. Just got to get that accuracy, and he'll keep the Bulls in the game.
Step.
Yet another deep restart from Rian Viljoen, but that creates plenty of time for Skuman to make his hoist. Now there was some contact in the air there with Leonardi. It's allowed to go by the referee. PC. Strong tackle from Jenkins.
Use it!
big opportunity for these two
Offside,
Bulls second
2-8.
row forwards, Jason Jenkins and Archias Snyman, both under 20 internationals a year ago.
Well, you're right, it is a big opportunity for both of them. PC looks like he might want to take this quickly, but the sensible thing will to be get down into the Bulls territory. Adrian Strauss is not the kind of guy who doesn't get up immediately. He was involved in that tackle, so
No, it doesn't look happy there, Bob.
doesn't look heavy at all, does he? Inside of his right knee he's pointing to. We'll get an update on that as soon as we can, but hasn't he been a player of caliber for such a long time, led the Cheetahs for many years, and it's actually just getting too quickly up off that advantage line and into it. Houston's called him back. Looked like his left knee almost immediately as he made the contact there, but he's heading back towards the forwards.
Yeah, well, Bandi Samaku seems all right. Bandi Samaku's not much movement on the bench here. So Adrian Strauss staying on.
2-8.
Well, Tusi PC is called upon to set up a line-out. We saw a stunning try scored against the Cheetahs 2 weeks ago when instead of kicking for touch, he saw an opportunity to tap and go and put in the cross kick.
2, black,
Which led to one of Akihito Yamada's 3 tries.
Thank you.
Shotahori, this time no contest from the Bulls, so an easy line-out win. PC, little chip in behind the Bulls' defensive line, and it bounces kindly for him. Well, he was looking for a very speculative pass, but had he been able to execute, it was very dangerous for the Bulls.
Well, look at that. The ball just set up for him. It's a massive hit and good work there. Johannes Kirsten, who got back quickly.
There's a mark.
Yeah, and it's a good little move for a good lineup, but they're spotting a bit of space behind the Bulls' defensive line and trying to exploit it there, but brilliant little attacking kick from Tusi PC.
Feature of his play, the Samoan international Tusi PC, has just been the variety that he brings to the game. He can take it to the line, he puts in these little chip kicks, he can play from depth as well.
Quite physical as well. He holds his own on defense. It's great to hear from Mark Hammett, the coach, that he's a real true professional as well. Hard work on the strategic side of the game, as well as keeping himself in the right kind of condition to last an entire season, especially at this level.
It's so important for a side like this to have a man with that level of Super Rugby experience, having played for both the Crusaders and the Hurricanes.
Pre-engage, loose head.
Early engage from the Sunwolves.
Okay.
So outside the 22-meter area, so Tian Skuman puts it up for Bjorn Basson and some of his forwards to chase. It's a test for Rian Fulyun. Lost backwards, but rescued by Thomas Leonardi.
Backwards, play.
A little bit untidy at the base of the ruck, but Shigeno with the clearance kick.
Waiting, 1,
Skuman.
2.
And Fulyun tight to the touchline, but time enough to create a much better angle. And a huge boot from Rian Fulyun. Outstanding clearance. All the way back to the Bulls' 10-meter line.
That's one thing Rian Fulyun can do. He can kick it a mile. And fantastic kick. Took his time. And look at that. The forwards will be loving that.
Well, it's on the near side to where we are in the commentary. I just felt then when Skuman got that ball on his 22 there was so much space out on the far side. Just an opportunity, spread the ball. Even if you are going to kick it, maybe 2 passes first and just let the opposition set themselves. That's gone awry.
Well, it was very quickly down from Snyman for Page, but bounced just in front of him. Very little commitment at that tackle area from the Sunwolves. Quick to fan out, especially away to the left, and now they've made the attempt over the ball. Looked like Andrew Durutalo again, very influential in the opening stages of this game.
Shot call.
Yeah, absolutely, it was Durutalo. He was very quick onto that. Nice win for him.
Oh, it's good defensive work here, Bob. Look at that, good leg tackle. And look at the timing from Durutalo, straight over the ball. Very difficult to clean, as that Achias Neyman goes too high and he doesn't get him off. But the leg tackle gave him that opportunity to go over the ball.
Yeah, great bit of rugby there from Durutalo, very effective.
We spoke about the experience in Super Rugby with the Crusaders and the Hurricanes for 2CPC, now playing for Suntory Sun Goliath in the Japanese top league. Very reliable goal kicker and 7-point lead re-established. Shorter restart this time, and it was intended for Bjorn Besson, just evading his fingertips and straight into touch. Scrum on the centre spot.
Close, isn't it?
Well, look at that, that's the vista.
Whole body weight.
Across to Singapore main city. We're sitting here in the National Stadium, an incredible facility, and that roof I watched from the opposite side of the bay last night as they closed it for training sessions, so it's created almost another atmosphere in here. Very clammy, and the ball was slippery in the warm-up, so that is the nature of the weather here, but certainly an outstanding facility to play sport in.
Shigeno with the feed, much better scrum from the Sunwolves, and off the back from Leonardi. Strong counter ruck from the Bulls. Was a hand in there.
On, ball was out.
Thought I spotted a hand in there from the Bulls player, but now the chip from Page. PC to ground, and the steal is good from the Bulls. Real opportunity for them in the Sunwolves 22. Ulengo into the scrum half position through the hands of Creel. Here's Woodendal.
Release that off your face.
Page for Marcel van der Merwe. Tackle from Keita Inagaki.
Advantage.
Penalty advantage for the Bulls. Page probing a little gap up the short side. Lost forward in the tackle.
Well, this one was a real opportunity to hang onto the ball.
Not rolling.
PC did very well to get back there, but it was not rolling away. And about the third ruck, middle of the field. So the Bulls at least spreading it a bit. They're using both the one-off runner, the big man out wide, and the ball on the boot. Need to mix it up. Spoke to Anton Leonard beforehand. His opposite number there, Philo Tiatia, had a catch up with him as well, and they were talking about to try and limit mistakes. Players in the Sunwolves side, they've got an interpreter for every one of their team meetings, so everything takes about 3 times as long for these guys, but they were talking about how incredible the journey's been so far.
Skuman was not successful with a lengthy attempt after his first penalty of the game. This one right on the money. So cancelling out that 2CPC penalty. Back within 4.
Yeah, Matt, and what's good is every time the Bulls sort of get into the right area, they're coming back with points. It's just getting that rhythm into their player, lacking a bit of rhythm, a bit stop-start. The Sunwolves are keeping it alive, putting them back with attacking kicks. The Bulls just need a little bit more position.
Viljoen gets that ball to hang for an eternity. Snyman with the take.
Use it!
Kirsten. Been an impressive start to this campaign for under-20 international Jonas Kirsten, 23 years of age now, played for the under-20s back in 2013, but right up there in the defensive statistics for the Bulls.
Yep.
Seldom misses a tackle, and a useful ball carrier as well. Started the season with Nick Diaga as his flank partner, but Rudolf Smith now in that role.
Release black, tackle assist.
Now an opportunity for the outside backs. Lovely loop around from PC, but a bit of obstruction there. A little bit of miscommunication with his midfielders.
Yeah,
the idea was good.
It was unlucky more than anything, Matt. And I'm sure if we have a look at the replay here, as he did the run around, he was just juggling the ball a bit. If he'd managed to get that away to the first player, I think we would have seen a clean line break. Creel felt that the running around was definitely getting in the... Well, almost not out, but saved. It's a very good long distance touch finder.
That's very good. Just the timing off there with the Sun, it was a nice little move, but just the timing wrong there. Obviously the communication not great. One or two of the players just overrunning it, but chances are we're going to see a more here from the Bulls. Smith at scrum off.
Full line out for the Bulls. Might we see the drive here? It's hauled down by Snyman. And the Bulls creating immediate momentum with their driving maul, and the ball's still at the front. Smith in possession, then Strauss. Pick up from Kirsten. And then Jenkins. Relentless pressure being applied by the Bulls. The rip away and the tackle, and this might be a card.
Well, that's big trouble there.
Cynical.
That's Thomas Leonardi, the Argentine international, who's given his marching orders.
Well, he was just desperate, Matt. You know, you can see what he's gone and done there. He's tried to stop the play by he's lying on the player on the ground, and he's ripping the ball out. He knows that if he doesn't get in there and do something, then the Bulls are going to score immediately. So he's taken the rap for the team. The Bulls are going to turn that from a try opportunity into a penalty opportunity. So technically what he wanted to achieve has worked. Cynical though, and he's been punished with a yellow card.
You're right, Bob. That was just pure desperation from Leonardi. The power game from the Bulls, just saw glimpses of it there. The one-on-one carries, managing to muscle up and get some good momentum. Chances of that ball came back, it would have been a try for the Bulls.
Skuman lining up his third penalty, which he has. So 3 out of 4 for Tian Skuman.
Well, there's Leonardi, and this is what happened. You see the ball's picked up. Diratala makes the initial tackle. You see this next one. Watch Leonardi. He's waiting. He goes in to make a tackle, an effective one, but look, he's on the ground and he can't be ripping that ball anymore. You'll see the ball come out on his side. Yeah, it's a yellow card offense right in front of the referee.
Smith again with the gather at the restart, almost a carbon copy of the previous one, and Kirsten making valuable ground. Page, Strauss. Strong from Arno Buerta. Looking to test the Sunwolves defense now with a man short. And Snyman stretching his legs straight up the middle. Skuman the support runner. Tackle from PC, Page, Strauss. Drew the attention of 2 defenders initially, Adrian Strauss, but those defenders very quickly back on their feet to get in the defensive line. That strong defense on Rudy Page. Kalant away for Skuman. Woerdendal, Creel. Two away to his right, Jumbo Lengo.
Bit more width from the Bulls here, more exciting.
And the Bulls are a player down in back play, so it's even in terms of numbers right now. Skumat, Strauss. Clean out is good, and Ulengo ran a good line off the pop pass from Rudy Page, but couldn't hang on.
Always under pressure, no advantage.
So they will come back for the scrum. Some dogged defence from the Sunwolves.
Well, we said that they were going to defend very well, and you know, their coaching staff has been adamant all week that they might not have had the time together, but you know, they can only be outworked if they let the opposition. So they're happy to make as many tackles as they can. They have given in 4 tries in all of their matches so far this season, but they've always been in it. They had a big stretch of a lead against the Cheetahs. Cheetahs came back and won that game in the last couple of seconds.
They conceded a big early lead against the Lions in Tokyo in their opening game. Some stunning vistas around Singapore. So 3 of their games being played in this city, all against South African opposition. Stormers come to play here in May. And the other 5 home games in Tokyo. 2 of those played already against the Lions in round 1, and then the Rebels last week.
Now, Matt, you saw what happened there with the Sunwolves actually trying to tackle high. You saw the damage that the Bulls could do there. Mark Hammond spoke about it, the low tackle focus before the game. This time they got it wrong. Obvious there, man.
Well, Shimmy, the interesting thing is that, you know, if the player is a lot higher, it makes you have to, I mean, a lot taller, a lot stronger. The Bulls have got some massive brutes, second row, and in the loose forward. If they're carrying the ball, you've almost got to execute a spider tackle. You've got to jump up and take the man down with you, roll off him, you know. So getting in low gives a target for the arriving player, and Duratalo's managed to steal 2 balls of good low tackles already.
Very strong scrum from the Bulls.
Drop.
Interesting decision here for Adrian Strauss. Very close to the posts, but do they try and press home an advantage here with more than just 3 points?
Yeah, Matt, and the set pieces going well. They're winning their lineouts. They had 1 more that they went well, in a fantastic scrum also. So
I think they've listened to you, Shimmy. They're going towards the corner.
And here comes the Bulls muscle here. Any bet it's going to be a maul, gentlemen. Oh, well, it can't be. Kicked it out.
He's kicked it dead over the touchline, so it's going to be a 22. That's a proper release of pressure from the Bulls. I don't disagree with the decision to go to the corner. I do disagree with trying to get it absolutely pinpoint 5 meters. That's not going to matter if you can set a good line out even 10 meters away from the line, with, especially with the Sunwolves with 1 forward down.
Yeah, and just some positive stuff from the Bulls. They carried well when they had the ball, some good running meters. They just need more of the ball.
Not surprisingly, the deep 22-meter drop out from Fulyun to try and release a little bit of territorial pressure, but now Basson gives chase once more. And there was a hand on it from a Sunwolves player, and then played in front of the ball.
15 lost forward into 7.
A penalty, so Andrew Duratalu is penalised.
That's incredibly selfless of Basson, who follows up every one of those balls. He goes 6 foot into the sky. This time Skuman doesn't make a mistake. He's not interested in making that one, but there's Basson. Look at that. I mean, absolutely no regard for his own body. Rian Fulyun knocked it forward into Duratara. That's why they got the penalty. He can't play on there. He's got to try and vacate that area, and unfortunately,
don't close gap, Red.
That ball is spinning at him, straight at him. There's no ways he can stop doing anything there, but it's still a penalisable offence in rugby.
To the tail goes Strauss for Arno Buerta.
Here's the driving ball.
Very efficient this from the Bulls once more. Supreme control of the ball, and the try is scored. Into the front they go. Adrian Strauss is the man who gets up with the ball to score his first of the season and his 9th in Super Rugby.
Well, he's been involved in a lot of play, a lot of carries already. He was at the back of that maul very quickly. I was impressed with Lizo Koboka as well. Kept his head, he was just in front of Strauss, and he managed to get Diratala away from making that crucial tackle on the line. Koboka was driving, and there goes Strauss through. So the players got within half a metre of the line. I think they thought they were already over, but they detached a little bit at the back. He still had some work to do. Typical forwards try, though. That's what they would have wanted to aim for 3 minutes ago.
This is a mightily relieved Tiaan Schoeman, who got a second opportunity to kick for touch, made absolutely sure of it. Didn't go anywhere near the 5-metre line, was more like 17. But very efficient execution of the line-out drive from the Bulls brings them their first try of the game, and Tiaan Schoeman adds the extras.
And it's a fantastic forwards try from the Bulls. We mentioned that the power is starting to tell now against the Sunwolves, but Strauss does it beautifully here. It used to be a flankers try this generally with the old laws. This time they have to pass it back, and the hookers are getting on the scorecard. Yeah, Lizo Koboka, nice and strong storch, low driving body position from Adrian Strauss, and he gets the point for the Bulls.
From that angle, Lizo Koboka almost got detached from that maul, which would have created an obstruction very clearly. Just managed to hang on. For the vital moment, which allowed Strauss himself to detach.
Thank you. Next stoppage. Use it! Jack!
Strauss down and back play again, Matt. Looking like he's got the same injury.
Stop. You're in front.
And the clearance is from Rudy Page.
Yeah, Strauss is down. He got hit from the back. He was trying to block the wing on the chase line, and he got smashed at the back there by the Sunwolves wing. And that's how I went and just look at back of the neck. Probably a bit of whiplash.
Oh, sure. What do you have?
From getting hit there. Didn't expect it at all.
Yeah. Like 2. Okay. Do you think it's just a penalty, or is it just a penalty? Okay.
Here it is. Yeah, he's
right,
trying to buy some time for his wing, and he gets smashed out of the way. Oh, that's a shocker, that.
No, he wasn't expecting that at all, was he?
Penalty only against
Funny thing, he was sitting on the ground, rubbing his knee.
Okay?
I thought maybe it was the same injury we saw in the first couple of minutes of the game, but not. It's actually a penalty to the Bulls. They'll get out of there.
Mark here. Yes.
Well, the thing for me there, Bob, is that Strauss never changed his line. He wasn't attempting to make a block by
no, you're right. It's very clear when a player does change his line and get away in front of the opposition. That's a poor clearance from Schoeman. I think he's once bitten, twice shy here. Doesn't ever want to go over the dead ball line.
Make sure it's out.
Exactly.
Four appearances for Schoeman. This his first in a number 10 jersey. He's come off the bench to replace Francois Brimmer.
Good timing.
And his previous 3. Burger Oudendal so strong on the carry in that inside centre position. The hoist from Page, the chase from Jumbo Alengo. It's a beautifully weighted kick again from Rudy Page. And lost forward though.
Little knock on collecting the ball there.
The kicking, I must say, has been accurate from the Bulls. Definitely every time that ball goes up, it's a Bulls player and a Sunwolves player meeting at the same time. So the kick accuracy has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, nice and contestable, Shimmy. We spoke about it before the game. You can have an aerial battle, but it doesn't make a difference if your players aren't there to contest the ball. Alengo had a fantastic domestic season in South Africa last year, and we're expecting big things from him in Super Rugby.
Yeah, and just worrying signs earlier on from the Sunwolves scrum. They turned it over
The touch judge in the background there.
Sliding in.
Slightly retreating Sunwolves scrum, but a decent enough platform. Clearance is onto Warwick Galant, who has had a great deal of opportunity. The Bulls absolutely dominant in terms of possession in this game, 70% of the ball. So forcing the Sunwolves into a huge number of tackles. They made 3 times the number of tackles so far. And clearly the instruction to the Bulls, to use a well-worn cliche, is play in the right areas. There's been quite a lot of kicking from deep. They're playing the territorial game and applying pressure with ball in hand when they find themselves in Sunwolves territory. That's a horribly miscommunicated line out. Straight into the back of a Sunwolves player. Looks like Moley, who's coming forward, then turned his back on it to be a lifter.
No one knows where it's going. I can guarantee you one of the props for what the call there.
Scrum.
Yeah, I think a bit of confusion at the front of that line-out. Bulls have chosen to scrum. There goes the note from Philo Tiatia. It's going to be just pulling those players aside after the game and have a little bit of a chat about what happened there.
What's that saying? It's only really a mistake if you do it twice.
And you can see the Sunwolves just trying to mix up the set piece of it. 4-man line out, short line out, throw it in quickly, trying to stop the Moors. Also at scrum time, they're doing that channel 1 ball, so trying to get it out as quickly as possible. They don't want to take on the Bulls in a wrestling match.
What's his spine? Just slippery. Yeah, it's humid. Yeah, thank you.
A little bit slippery underfoot there. Liesel Koboka came to the Bulls with a tremendous reputation. Scrummaging, highly recommended by Robbie Kempson. He played in that loose head and tight head position for the Springboks, but he says he's one of the strongest and most technically correct scrummagers on the circuit.
Steady!
And Thomas Leonardi back behind this Sunwolves scrum, having served his 10 minutes in the bin. And the Bulls eventually milking a penalty from this situation.
9. You have it this time, but next time it's available back. Fire out, yeah.
And the Bulls are just grinding away at the Sunwolves here. Sunwolves losing that physical contest, and at scrum time you can't hide anywhere, unfortunately, especially when it's battling, your scrum's battling. You saw the tight head disengage completely, and the whole Sunwolves pack really just spread at the front of that scrum. So the the Bulls muscling up and showing their power play here. Have a look here at Sahara. He just comes out completely.
Yeah, Strauss and Kawoka can't even scrum there. He's come out of the whole front of that scrum, so putting real pressure on. Leonardi's back, so 8 against 8 though, but they'll definitely have a go at trying this driving line out once more.
Rudolf Smith is waiting to take possession.
Good sack.
The sack was good, says William Houston, the referee. So Strauss now has it and rummaging his way over, but accidental is the call.
Accidental, yeah.
Well, they tried to reset that.
You've gone down and reloaded for a new maul. Accidental.
He's saying it's a new maul.
A new maul. So he was happy that the sack was good and it was over, turned into an effective tackle. So then you can't just start again, you know, unless they had. Okay, there we go. It's because they didn't have any of the Sunwolves players in front of them. It's an accidental offside, so the Sunwolves will get a reprieve there, and they'll have a scrum, but they'll still have the pressure from the Bulls deep in their territory.
Yeah, Bob, if you look at the scrum, they're probably going to do a channel 1. So this ball will not be there for longer than 2 seconds if they can help it. They'll try to get it out as quickly as possible to avoid the sort of wrestling match at scrum time.
Well, also worth noting here, Shimmy, that the lack of depth in the in-goal area. It's very difficult for Tusi Pisi standing on that dead ball line. It's
tackle!
Really short distance, and the Bulls will be mindful of that. It's much easier to apply the pressure on the kicker here. pass is good though from Shigeno, and that.
Yeah, it's a tiny little margin for error there, because I mean PC has got nowhere to hide really. The depth of that in-goal area is one of the ungoverned areas of world rugby. It's got to be between a certain amount. It's not actually consistent the world over.
One of the features we saw at Rugby World Cup at some of the football stadiums is very shallow in-goal areas. Just makes those 5-meter scrums and line-outs for the defending team
7 out now.
much more difficult. And again,
You
it's
can't change your binds. You were there, you slid back and rebound.
gone against Adrian Strauss.
You were bound.
Well, this will be very interesting as you see Duratalo there. He's just listening in.
It's an accidental obstruction. Under the new stuff. Scrum.
Oh, the referee and Adrian Strauss just completely disagreeing there. Strauss said he had the ball at the back. He was in control.
Let's go, Black.
There's the ball getting passed back to him. You see Koboka will get it and he'll pass it back. Accidental offsides was called, so they've got a bit more space now to clear this ball, and PC will be waiting for it. Same sort of scrum from them though, probably, Shimmy.
In and out as quickly as possible. You see that the 8 will change his position, Thomas Leonardo, as soon as the ball comes in, but he actually has to sit there from the beginning of the scrum. So he'll change and go in between the flank and the lock to try to get that ball out as quickly as possible in the channel 1.
3 minutes to go in the first half. We haven't seen a proper backline move from either of the teams. An attacking move. We've got Alenga on the one wing, outside Creel, both of them incredibly big, fast, strong players, finishers. We've got a lot of forward-orientated play. The Bulls will want to make sure that their dominance in the forwards area translates into some dominance on the scoreboard as well.
The Sunwolves just not having any kind of quality possession in the right areas, apart from that early try scored by Andrew Duratalu.
Set!
And even that came from a strong follow-up from Rion Fulyun of a kick from depth. Huge scrum again from the Bulls.
Ados.
And 2.5 minutes to play. What will Adrian Strauss decide to do here? This scrum under all sorts of pressure.
There's a few penalties happening now, particularly down here. I'm more interested in the number of penalties that are happening is the issue, as opposed to a particular one that's occurring. So I need better discipline from you guys, please. Okay. Thank you. Offside the scrum.
Bit of a conference here from
Adrian
Strauss and Tian Skuman.
I was just watching Adrian Strauss and he was having a chat to some of the other forwards. I think he's gone for the penalty here because he's not sure. He hasn't got his head around why they're being penalised at the back of the driving maul. So he's rather going to take the points that he can get. If Skuman's got a chance here to knock it over, then that's at least a surer thing than losing the ball going forward again. So at half-time, I've got absolutely no doubt that Anton Leonard and Adrian Strauss will be having a bit of a conference about what's happening at the back of the driving maul and how to remedy it for the second half.
3 penalties and a conversion for Tian Skuman so far in the game. Just seconds remain in this first half as Skuman lines it up. That looks as though it's gone wide. Well wide.
22. It's gone dead. It was dead.
And William Houston brings an end to the first half. No time to take the 22-meter dropout. A try apiece. One for Andrew Duratalu for the Sunwolves, one to Adrian Strauss for the Bulls. Half-time in Singapore, it's the Sunwolves 10, the Bulls 16.
Yeah.
But you guys are still in it.
We had a good, really good start, but just let's lose the concentration. So, yeah.
I know tackle focus, you're playing against some big men there. You guys need to stick to task there.
Yeah, we need a low position and keep working hard.
Enjoy the second half.
Thank you very much.
.40 minutes played at the Singapore National Stadium. And the Sunwolves trail the Bulls by 10 points to 16. A try apiece, and it was the Sunwolves who got on the board early. A kick ahead from Rion Viljoen, the South African fullback playing for the Sunwolves. Birgit Woerdendaal unable to control the ball on the ground. Some good follow-up from Viljoen. And Andrew Duratalu, the Fijian-born loose forward, far too difficult to stop that close to the line and gathering it at pace. Strong word from Viljoen, playing for his third Super Rugby franchise, having played for two in South Africa, the Cheetahs and the Sharks, before coming to the Sunwolves. Adrian Strauss, the Bulls captain, was the scorer for the Bulls. off the back of a very well-coordinated driving maul. This was while the Sunwolves were down to 14 players, with Thomas Leonardi having been given 10 minutes in the sin bin. 10 penalties conceded by the Sunwolves, and 3 of those at the scrum, and a number at the breakdown as well, which is where the Bulls have really applied most of the pressure, using their size and their pack more to their advantage. Majority of the action played in the Sunwolves half. And just the 6-point lead for the Bulls at halftime.
Mm-hmm.